Do you guys remember a couple of years ago when Kevin McCarthy was trying to become Speaker of the House and they went through all of those votes? You remember that? There were there were 21 Republicans that were refusing to vote for Kevin McCarthy unless they got certain demands, and they went through 11 rounds of voting. The first time, I think maybe ever, but definitely in decades upon decades upon decades, that a vote for Speaker of the House went beyond one round. So these 21 Republicans that were holding out, they had a list of demands. They wanted this, they wanted that. They wanted to make sure that any one person in the House could bring up a call to vacate the speaker seat. It's how Kevin McCarthy ultimately lost his speakership. But one of the demands that they had just 2 short years ago, keep in mind, was that they vote on standalone bills. God damn it, if we're voting on whatever, naming a post office, then we should only be voting on naming a post office. If we're voting to fund the Department of Defense, then goddamn it, we should only be voting to fund the Department of Defense. Bills should be standalone. It's one of the things I agreed with on those 21 Republicans. I said back then, I agree with them when it comes to standalone bills. They were so adamant that they get standalone bills that they would not vote in a Speaker of the House, and the government stayed at a standstill for 11 days as a result of it. That's all out the window now. Just 2 short years later, and standalone bills are so 2 years ago. Members of Congress are getting to work on one powerful bill that will bring our country back and make it greater than ever before. We must secure our border, unleash American energy, and renew the Trump tax cuts, which were the largest in history. But we will make it even better. No tax on tips. It will all be made up with tariffs and much more from countries that have taken advantage of us, of the U.S. for years. Republicans must unite and quickly deliver these historic victories for the American people, get smart and tough, and send the bill to my desk to sign as soon as possible. Make America great again. So now we've gone from we can't elect the Speaker of the House unless we get, in part, standalone bills to let's throw everything in one bill. Energy in that bill, border in that bill, tax cuts in that bill. Whatever Donnie wants, throw it in one big bill and let's just pass it. Every time you see Republicans not vote for a bill when Democrats have control, and we bring it up in a post, and somebody says, well, what did the Democrats put in that bill? Why did they got to put all this shit that has nothing to do with it in this bill? This move right here proves that that was all bullshit. They didn't mean any of that shit. They didn't care what was in the bill. They just didn't want to vote for it because they didn't want to give a Democrat a victory. Just 2 years ago, they would not vote on anything unless they got standalone bills. Now, they want to put the entire Trump agenda, everything he wants over the course of the next 4 years, in one bill and get it passed. Hypocrisy, thy name is MAGA.